Welcome into Gamesthetic, episode 171 of Alex Light with Sparky3. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day today, whatever day you're watching or listening to this show. No Zach yet, but he should be on his way. But we do have John in here. John, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I got my big green shirt on that's like 2.5 sizes too big.
Big green shirt with a big green overlay. It works out perfectly.
Yeah.
And a green cord. Everything's coming up green for John.
Yeah. I know. I was like I told you beforehand. I was kind of cleaning out some closets and that. I was like, man, why do I have a shirt that's this big? I probably just found it on a sale or something. I was like, yeah, why not?
Listen, I think everyone listening to this show right now can all agree there's nothing wrong with a nice oversized shirt every once in a while.
Oh,
nice
yeah.
and comfy, nice and cozy. Nothing wrong with that, man. I've definitely got my fair share of oversized shirts. You know, especially the best ones, though, is like oversized hoodies. Oversized hoodies and jackets, that's where it's at. That's the peak of things. But for today's episode, of course, we will be chatting about the shit show that has been Xbox this week, because, boy, it has been a roller coaster all week long. On a random Tuesday at 3 in the morning, Nintendo decided to drop news on the Switch too, so we're going to chat about that, plus all manufacturing stuff. And I guess there's kind of like general hopes to see out of the platform when it launches next year, because I definitely have some certain hopes that I would like to see, as well as general hopes to see for the rest of this year, because they did also announce they have a June Nintendo Switch Direct set, and it's going to be the last Direct for the Switch only. So maybe some hopes on what to see out of that. I don't think anything spectacular. I think it's going to be some more remaster kind of BS. But what would you like to see? I don't know. And then we'll follow up on the conversation from last week with Helldivers and the Sony shit show, because it just keeps getting worse. There was a moment where it looked like it was going to get better, and then it didn't get better, and it just got worse.
They tried to hit us with a bait and switch.
Yes, because me and Zach, we were chatting about it, or we were texting about it, and Zach mentioned that it's still like a shit show. And I texted him, I was like, I thought it was fixed. I thought they took care of it. Then I went and looked. I'm like, oh, so they said that it was going to be fine, and then they still didn't make it fine. Okay, got it. All right, yeah. So it's a shit show. So we're going to dive into that. We'll also be shouting out, of course, our two sponsors, ROG Energy and Agent Inc. later on in the show. And you can definitely check those out. We'd appreciate that support. All right, let me go to two cams. Zach will be here when he gets here. Also, because we are just such a big segment show, we will also randomly introduce a new segment at the end of the weekly wrap-up.
We're just having fun with some new stuff.
Hey, and honestly, some of the other ideas that we came up with that we haven't talked about on the show, I really want to get some of those going. Like the one that you pitched with the reveals thing, the hindsight one. I really want to do that. I think that we need to pick the right.
There's
game.
some fun stuff to do. It's just
gotta have the time.
We gotta find some time to sit down
and actually work on it
and work it out.
Yeah, but yeah, we are going to introduce a new segment today, and honestly, this is going to be a segment that I think can legitimately actually stay for good, because
I feel like it's something we talked about like a couple of years ago, and we just fell out of doing it.
Yeah, so it's going to be like the Gamesthetic Game of the Week is what we're going to call it. It'll be at the end of the weekly wrap up every single week. We'll rotate on who does it. It'll take like 1 minute to 5 minutes. We'll all shout out someone, whoever's turn it is for the week, will shout out a game, whether if it's new, it's old, they're playing for the first time, playing it for the 100th time, whatever. They're going to shout out a game that you should check out or pick back up if you haven't played it in a while. Maybe get you that, if you got the itch for something, you haven't touched it, maybe one of us can help you scratch that itch and motivate you to go play it. So it'll be a weekly segment, just to celebrate games, because that's what it's all about here, celebrating games. I can't help but to feel like I'm either really loud or really soft in my headphones, and I can't find the right mix for it right now, and it's bugging the shit out of me. But anyway, so John.
Hello.
This Xbox situation, this is wild, is it not?
Well,
this is crazy.
It's weird, because
it's definitely weird.
A lot of it doesn't add up, or at least with stuff that Microsoft and Xbox have come out and said about behind some of their decisions for the past week.
Yeah,
doesn't add up.
Nope,
does not add up at all.
Nope,
based on what they're trying to communicate to people.
Yep.
And yeah, it kind of. I don't know who made some of these decisions or when they actually decided it, or if it was kind of just news was dropped, and they're trying to, and some people are still trying to figure out, wait, when did we decide this?
Yeah, yeah, I kind of get that vibe too, because so right off the top, let's go ahead and just establish what we're talking about. This week, Xbox shut down 4 studios. 2 of them are more support studios, to my understanding, being like Roadhouse Studios or Roadhouse Games, Roadhouse Studios, and Alpha Dog Studios. To my understanding, those were more support and have been in a support role. But notably, they shut down Arkane Austin, who did Redfall, which unfortunate. But Arkane's got a pretty notable name in general, you know, Dishonored and stuff like that. And then Tango Gameworks, who has had a slew of pretty solid games, including an award winner last year.
By far, the standout, baffling decision.
Yes, I agree. Because like with Tango, they of course had Hi-Fi Rush, Shadow Drop last year, Universal Acclaim, won a Game Award, won other awards. They had Ghostwire Tokyo, pretty well acclaimed. They had 2, you know, Evil Within 1 and 2, really good, you know, horror games that people love. And to my knowledge, I could be wrong, I think Tango was like Microsoft's like only Japanese-based studio as well. So it's like that was their one foot in the door into the Japanese market, a market they are horrible in. We see the sales horrible in that market. So it's like you shut down the one studio that puts you in the door for that market. Like I don't understand it, because it's like what you just said about it almost feels like some people are trying to figure out when we decided this, because it's like I put it in our script. Tango Gameworks celebrated their 14th year anniversary this in March, and Sarah Bond, you know, responded to it where it's just like, you know, congratulations, you know, cheers to many more. And that was in March, so it's like, did the decision get made in 2 months? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know if you have it in there because I haven't double checked it, but my probably the only thing that's made me chuckle about this a little bit was the decision to shut these down. Part of what I would say with like it doesn't add up is there was a statement made something along the lines of, we need some of these smaller games to like bring us awards or have accolades like come out behind them.
Yeah, I did.
To which then they replied with a picture of their award shelf with all of their awards on it, and was like, "Is this not enough?"
Yeah,
it's like, what does it take to impress you?
Yeah. So the thing that you're talking about, apparently it was an internal statement made by Matt Booty.
Yeah,
made it with internally, and you know, people just anonymously have reported it to The Verge, just who it was. So Verge is a pretty official source of news here that I trust. But yeah, it was like, you know, we're looking for smaller games that bring us prestige and awards. And then it's like, I think it was the founder of Tango, who recently left the company, took a picture of that shelf. It's like, what more do you want?
Yeah.
Like I don't understand.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's just like 6 or 7 different trophies and awards on the wall. And it's like, what else do we need?
I mean, it was a rough thing because, I mean, as you said, Arkane Austin, I mean, everyone was sort of like, it was Redfall. It was like, we sort of understand, unfortunately.
To an extent.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's like you have like that much of a bomb.
Then Tango Works, everyone was like, what?
Yeah, it's like that one doesn't make sense. Like, I've seen so many reports that apparently it's just like, okay, well, Alpha Dog and Roadhouse, they were support studios anyway. They weren't really doing anything. Arkane and Hi-Fi were both in the process of hiring for new projects. Tango going to pitch Hi-Fi Rush 2. Arkane going to probably go back to Dishonored. So like that was apparently possibly part of the decision. It's like, well, they're at this exact moment, they're not doing anything. So get rid of them. It's like, that still doesn't make sense. So like when it comes to this whole topic, there's so many things to like take in and talk about and react to. But like, I feel like the main questions that we should talk about is like, is Game Pass the problem or just a problem? And 2, is it time to change leadership? Because like I've seen people talk about this on, you know, Twitter and stuff, where it's like Phil Spencer has had 10 years, billions of dollars at his disposal to turn things around. And while there's a jump, sure, from 1 to series, right, in terms of sales and everything like that, we see where we are now, where it's like Xbox is like, what the state that they're in. It's like, cool, you're getting some sweet deals with like third-party publishers and stuff like that, right? Like, you know, got the Persona over there, you got the Final Fantasies over there, you know, like you're establishing you're building these bridges for relationships. Great. You got Activision Blizzard, whatever. You bought ZeniMax Bethesda, awesome, cool. But it's just like I detailed a bunch of like issues that's happened since the Xbox One. First off, the Xbox One alone was an issue.
Well, I just wanted to jump in real quick because, like you said, there has been a bit of a bump from the Xbox One to the Series.
Yes.
But we're how many years into the Series
4
cycle now? And yet here's the biggest problem with Xbox right now. What's the reason to buy an Xbox?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's still nothing driving you to buy it
yes.
except Game Pass.
That's literally the only selling point of the series is to get Game Pass because, I mean, as we mentioned several times before, there's still no notable first-party games besides some that were released back when the series came out, in which those were 4 years ago.
Yes.
Meh.
And to add to that point, I've had 2 conversations within the last week involving that exact point with our buddy Steve, who's got a PlayStation and a PC, and he's just like, man, I was really thinking about getting an Xbox. I'm just like, I enjoy my Xbox, but I also, just because I enjoy Game Pass, but I was like, there's no other reason to get it besides that. And then our friend Brady, who, of course, just like me, super excited for College Football 25. It's only a current gen game. It's not going to be on PS4 or anything, so he needs to get a new console. And he was asking me what should he get, and I told him, like, dude, you're probably better off to get a PS5 at this point. Like, it's like for Xbox, it's like you're getting it for Game Pass and nothing else. And I told him stuff that happened and how this. He's like, okay, I see your point. It's probably good. There is no point. There feels like no point to get an Xbox. And with all the reports from a few months ago where it's like they're going to go full multi-plat, Halo's going to be on PlayStation and shit like that. And honestly, I still think that's going to happen. Those reports are still active. Like, it really does drive the narrative of what's the point to buy an Xbox besides Game Pass. So it's like, is it time to change leadership? And is Game Pass the problem? Because, like, obviously, high subscriber base, but like it's been kind of stagnant over the last year or so. It had a small bump when they got rid of Xbox Live because they made Xbox Live Game Pass.
Yeah, that's the other thing is
like, how much of a bump was that really? Like, it doesn't really count.
Yeah, it's like you can say, yeah, large subscriber count. It's like, well, yeah, but anybody that has an Xbox has to have Game Pass now.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah, at least Game Pass Core at the minimum if you want to play online and stuff.
Yeah, so it's like everybody's going to have like Game Pass, and if you have a console but you also have a PC, you're gonna be, you might as well get Game Pass Ultimate. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, so that way you can have it on both.
And it's just one of those where the question is Game Pass the problem?
I personally do not feel like Game Pass itself is the problem.
I don't think it's the problem, but I do think it's a problem.
I do see that it is a hindrance to seeing a increase into Xbox as itself, because there is a very hard focus, as we mentioned, of them bringing stuff to Xbox through third parties that are immediately going on Game Pass, with some exceptions.
Yep.
And so, at least from the consumer point of view, very much seems like it's more a Xbox Series Game Pass than Xbox Series console.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And I think Game Pass isn't necessarily the problem, but it is a part. It's definitely a part of the problem.
Yes.
Because with Game Pass, it's like obviously they can tell downloads through Game Pass and downloads through purchases and stuff like that. But with the introduction of Game Pass, it's like, okay, well, how much more valuable is someone buying the game versus someone downloading the game through Game Pass?
That's the big question. Because Game Pass has really created that narrative of why should I buy the game? Because I'm fully a victim of that.
Oh, I am.
Like, why should I buy it?
When I can just download it for free.
Oh,
through my subscription, I should say, not free.
There's definitely. I mean, hell, I've been playing MLB The Show all week at home on my Xbox, and it's like in up until last year when it came over to Xbox, I was buying it every year on my PlayStation.
Yep,
it's on Game Pass now, so I'm like, I just download it on Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean, shit. That's how I played Persona 3 Reload, because it came to Game Pass. Like, saved me the money from buying it.
95% of the Xbox games that I've played since I got my series have been Game Pass games.
Yeah.
The only exceptions have been like, what was it, like WWE?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it.
And it does hardcore drive that narrative, because like for me, like I don't see a point also in buying Xbox like first parties. Like, they're gonna come to Game Pass day one. So it's like that's the whole reason why my Xbox Series X is mostly a third party console, because I want I'm a boomer and I like my physical games on the shelf. So like if there's a third party game that's on PS5 and Xbox, I'm more inclined to get it for Xbox so I can have something on my shelf because I'll never buy an Xbox game or a first party. I never. It's gonna come to Game Pass. What's the point? Like I'm fully a victim of that. So it's like, is it part of the problem? I say yes because it's like while you have Hi-Fi Rush with this universal acclaim, like how much money did it actually make? And now there's other questions where it's like here on the 21st, 10 days from now, you have Hellblade 2 coming out. Is Ninja Theory in jeopardy? Because like they've received zero marketing for this game. Like I think the only marketing for this game that it's got, besides like in showcases, like where they've shown stuff, is like literally no shit a tweet yesterday in the midst of all this happening, where it's just like Hellblade 2 May 21st, and that was it. That was the marketing. It's like that's the whole marketing budget for the game. This game's fucked.
No, although I will say, I don't think Hellblade 2 is a game that needs it. Because Hellblade is a game that did not get a lot of marketing behind it, or it got some marketing behind it, but it didn't get a ton. And yet, that is a beloved game that people have been waiting on a sequel for a long time.
Let's be honest, Hellblade was very much a sleeper hit that a lot of people looked over.
Yeah. It's one that kind of sat there, and over time, like people came back to because they were like, oh, I've played all the other games. I've played all the other Xbox games. What do I have here? Oh, what's this Hellblade? That's probably how it came through, and then everybody started playing it, and everybody loved it.
Yeah.
So now all of those people are waiting on the sequel. They know when it's coming out. It's like us with some games. We know when the games we're looking forward to are coming out.
Yeah, true.
I'm not
Esports Godfather.
It's like I'm not gonna. It's like I'm not gonna pay attention to like a bunch of marketing stuff when it's coming out for a game.
That's fair.
I'm because like I think I said like last week or the week before, I'm usually sold on a game from the initial showcase that I see on a game.
Right.
And then that puts it on my radar. I don't need to see anything else after that point. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm going to remember it, and the next time when I see a release date, that's going to be fine. But the problem is with a lot of Game Pass games, they come out on Game Pass. Unless it's something you're directly looking forward to, even then, sometimes it's hard to find these games when they come out because like the newly added to Game Pass, at certain points during the year, it just gets flooded.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's like a lot of these games get lost, and there's no other way to search for them. Hell, I was trying to look through Game Pass games the other day. Like I think it was a couple days ago when I was trying to download MLB. Man, it's a confusing window to try to even get to Game Pass and search through everything.
It can be.
Because you get there, it's like, okay, well, here's our new games, and then it immediately starts going into different categories of games.
Yeah.
It's like the somehow, in a rare instance, the Game Pass and Xbox like launcher on PC is easier to use than the one on Xbox.
I can see that because I've definitely messed with both, and I can see your point.
But yeah, like Game Pass and. It is part of the problem because, especially when all first-party games and all Xbox games, even third-party and stuff, that all come through there, you're just flooding the newly entered-in category to where the easiest way to search through it is going to just go to all Game Pass games and just scroll.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff's going to get lost.
Right.
And then, whereas if it wasn't appearing on Game Pass and just showed up as new in store, which is where everybody used to go look for games, people are more likely to buy it.
Mm-hmm. So, I think we can all agree that Game Pass is at least part of the problem, but we're not going to call it the problem. But like when it comes to the leadership, right? Like again, Phil Spencer, like he's had a lot of defenders. I've defended him because I thought there's been some good moves made in the past. But it's like once you start to tally up the L's, like it really does bring up the question: is it time for new leadership? Like, should Microsoft look at a new set of leadership and cleaning house and restructuring? Because, like, just to put it in perspective, in case anyone's forgotten, like, let's go through some history here. So, like, to kick things off, your flagship IP, the IP that should be leading your entire brand, Halo Infinite, massive shit show, constantly has changed game director multiple times. Halo 5, garbage. Halo 4, that was 360 era. Well, we won't really touch on that one. It was an okay game at best. But Halo 5, garbage. Halo Infinite, fun game. Gameplay is great. But the game itself, like, you know, the handling of it, shit show. Starfield was delayed and then released as a mid-ass game with problems. Fable has been delayed and delayed and delayed. We still don't even know when it's coming out. Gears has completely fallen off the earth as a notable franchise from the 360 era to the one to now the series coming into the series. Everwild, per reports, has been like literally prom forward. Forza games have been hit with multiple delays. Hellblade 2, you know, again, really received no marketing. I do see your point, though. I may not really need it. It's been previously delayed. Could likely bomb in Microsoft's eyes. It may be universally acclaimed in reviews, but in Microsoft's eyes, it may bomb because not as many people play as they want to. Perfect Dark, apparently in developmental hell. No idea what's going on with that. Fallout 76, shit show at launch. Redfall. And then unknown status for at least 6+ other kind of games, like Contraband's one. Let's see, like we got a trailer for Indiana Jones, but yeah, that's about all we got for that here recently. There's a few other games that's been announced that I'm drawing a blank on, that it's like zero status update that's just been announced way too early. It's like, is it time to change leadership? How much more of a pass can you give the current regime is the question. This is like getting into like almost sports conversation.
It's one of those things where it's kind of
knowing that of these list of games, Fallout 76 is the one that's come out ahead through all of this.
That's
Launch
true.
was shit show, but Fallout 76 is now very much a solid game.
Correct. True.
Yeah. Part of the problem with trying to say or just jump on board and say, yeah, it probably is. It's like Phil has had plenty of time at this point to attempt to not even dig himself or dig Xbox out of this hole, but to help turn it around. And the thing is, like with what you just mentioned, in the years since he's been in, it hasn't necessarily gotten better. If anything, Xbox has taken just as many, if not more, L's in the most recent years than they have in the past 15. Mm-hmm. And the thing that's hard to look at it and go, yeah, it's probably about time. They need to move on from him, is just the fact that everybody likes Phil. Everybody likes seeing Phil at the showcase. Everybody likes him showing up and giving his opinion, talking about it. Because when he gets on stage and starts talking about Xbox and everything, you want to believe him.
Yeah.
It's like he's
charismatic. His the vibe is kind of infectious, kind of thing.
And it's like, as much as I get like, I'm never looking forward to an Xbox or a Microsoft showcase, but while it's happening and Phil's on stage telling me to be excited for it, it's hard not to be.
Yeah.
And it's one of those where
he's a leader in that capacity.
You always come out of it thinking it's better than it was. Yeah. It's like I've been guilty of it. We've all been guilty of it.
Oh yeah.
And it's one of those, but it's like when you actually step back and look at what Xbox has been through for like the last 10 years, there's not really any good. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, you got a couple little win. It's like, yeah, you got a little bit of a win with the series over the Xbox One. That's not saying much. Mm-hmm. It's like you didn't have a lot of competition there.
Yeah.
So it might be time, but it's hard to just slam down and say yes. It's like something has to change, but I don't know if it's the leadership necessarily, or because clearly there's problems the whole way down, like down from the leadership, where something is not being communicated properly between the people at the top and the people actually working on the games and doing everything. Whether it's them trying to constantly change or like push deadlines on people or what, something is completely broken at Xbox in the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. But I don't know exactly where that is, but they gotta fix something.
Yeah. What about you? What do you think? Regime change?
I mean, I'm not big on regime change. I mean, they probably could and see how it does, but I mean, it's more of a thing for me of just, I want to see some kind of change. That's not necessarily regime oriented, but at least first party oriented. Like, at this point in time, give us something.
So let me ask you this. Like, are you kind of in the boat where it's like, I think we can all collectively agree that we feel like that we're about to finally go over this hump and see some games come out, right? Like Avowed is set to come out this year, supposedly.
That's the hope, yes.
You know, Fable's supposedly around the corner. So, like, are you kind of in the boat? Let's see how this stuff happens. Let's see how this stuff comes out, and then we'll kind of judge. Is that
Pretty
what
much, because
that's
this
fair.
is the this is the
the
most
deciding
we've
moment.
had of just like, hey, these things are coming out, and
Yeah.
we've seen a bit more on stuff.
Okay.
The only problem I have with that is, like, for me, kind of, like, personally for me, this is almost their last chance.
I feel that too.
Because this is, like I brought up earlier, we're over 4 years into the series
Yeah.
life cycle.
Yep.
We've got nothing.
Pretty much.
Yep.
It's like, and everything notable that they've tried to give us, it's like, well, they hyped up Redfall as one of the best, like their most popular game, like one of their best games that they're going to come out. Shitshow.
Yep.
It's like they bought Bethesda to get Starfield Xbox only.
Mid.
It's
Solid game. 7 out of 10. You know what I mean?
Bethesda game.
Bethesda game.
But yeah, it's like we don't get anything notable. We don't get like what we would remember as the Xbox games.
Yeah, because off the dome, you guys ready? Here are the 3 most notable series games that I can think of that's come out in the span of the series. Forza Horizon 5. It was nominated for Game of the Year. I think it was. It was nominated for rewards. I don't know if it's Game of the Year. Psychonauts 2. Hi-Fi Rush. That's your slate of the peak series games that have been like universally acclaimed and reviewed and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. I'm pretty sure that's what's off the dome. Every other like first party title I can think of that's come out has just been like, it's an okay game or it was trash.
In Control.
That was an Xbox game though.
Was it one? I thought it was series.
No, it was re-released on series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't think that one was that's not a first party. But yeah, I'm just talking just first party. That's the only ones that I can think of is Horizon 5, Psychonauts 2, and Hi-Fi Rush, and now Tango is dead. So it's like that's just the kicker. Your 3 probably most notable, like reviewed and acclaimed games, you shut down one of the studios. It's like you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't think of anything else in the series lifespan that was first party and like considered a peak game. I think that's it. I think that's your titles. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, because most games on Xbox are going to be reviewed well, and like people are going to speak highly of, are third party or multiplayer games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's about accurate. Like that's sad to me, and I don't mean any disrespect to those 3 games, but it's like you have all these IPs and these franchises, whatever, and if that's your 3 best in the span, because what correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there like I don't know if it was I don't think it was 2020, it might have been 2021. You know, with all the COVID stuff, didn't they go a literal full calendar year and not release a single first party game? I think if I
I'm
remember.
fairly sure, yeah.
So it's just like, something needs to change. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like what you said is about accurate. Where it's just like I feel like this is kind of like their last chance. Like that's the vibe that I get. You know, as a Chicago Bears fan, I've seen this vibe before of where this is your last chance to figure it out.
Yeah, because it's getting to the point of like, even with Game Pass, it's almost what's the point of owning an Xbox?
Yeah.
Unless it's like, granted, if a lot of your multiplayer games are coming to Xbox and they're going to be on Game Pass, yeah, gonna be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
People that prefer the Xbox ecosystem, yeah, you're gonna. It's like. I mean, I'm not judging anybody based on what console you prefer. It's like I typically like having both of them for
Various
their
reasons.
own, like the games that come out on them. It's just at this point, as I said, my series is just a like a Game Pass console. It doesn't do anything else besides Game Pass games.
I feel that.
And it's one of those where it's like, I mean, they're gonna have to actually not even just release, because like we said, they're gonna have to release games this year, but that's not all it has to be. They got to release some damn good games this year, or I mean, it's already kind of embarrassing for them.
Yeah.
But it's going to be way more embarrassing if they're games that they're finally going to release that they've been talking about for 4+ years come out and are trash. I'm not hoping that happens. I'm hoping these games come out and are fantastic.
Agreed.
But
Especially when I'm looking forward to some of them.
yeah, that's the thing. It's like
Like a Fable and Avowed.
yeah, it's like I mean, hell, we've been talking about wanting to see Fable for years.
Yeah.
Avowed has been a game that when they first showed it off, now it looks completely different than it did the first time we saw it, and I'm down for the vibe that it has now.
Yeah.
I just want it to come out. I want it to be good.
Yeah. And
Or the Forbidden Dead game, Beyond Good and Evil 2,
true.
which initially came out with a series announcement of an amazing trailer. Everyone was real hyped for it because it's Beyond Good and Evil. Then we got nothing.
Yep. So that's another one of the list. And then if we ever see Everwild, if we ever see that game, I don't know if we will. We'll see. Couple other points that I had with all of this is I did also come across where it's like long-term Xbox employees have said that internally the vibe for it is like it's no longer Xbox. It feels like it's Microsoft gaming. Like that's kind of the vibe internally. It's where it's like the brand of Xbox is like not necessarily being respected, which to an extent, hearing that now doesn't really surprise me because I want to say at some point, like maybe a year or so ago, like we had it in like a weekly wrap up topic or whatever, where Microsoft legitimately was considering selling off Xbox. Like it's completely just getting rid of it, selling it off to someone else, or shutting it down or something. I remember a weekly wrap up point that we had like a year ago where that Microsoft apparently was considering that per reports. So the vibe for it changing, where it's like it doesn't feel like Xbox anymore. It just feels like Microsoft gaming. Like I can see that as being a real vibe within Xbox and stuff.
I mean, controversial point here, maybe. I don't give a fuck what you call it.
I mean, yeah.
If you want to have Xbox be your division of your console where you want to be there, and you want your game development side to be Microsoft gaming, not necessarily call it Xbox.
Yeah.
And then just like all of your first party stuff goes to your Microsoft console, which is your Xbox, and have Microsoft gaming as a whole be able to release on additional consoles as well. I don't see a problem with that necessarily. But if you're gonna make the distinction, make the distinction.
Yeah.
Quit calling it one thing and treating it like another.
Yeah. True.
Split it apart if you need to, because like I said, if it's causing a rift, officially name it that, or just like kill it as a whole and call it no, we're all Xbox.
Yeah.
Whichever way it needs to be done.
Yeah, that's fair. I will also add, like, where with the last chance vibe of things, I do feel like if this last chance and these games come out, they bomb. I'm telling you, I'm gonna call it right now. May 11, 2024. Give it like a year and a half from now, we're gonna start seeing some bigger titles go multi-plat. We're not gonna just see the Sea of Thieves and the ground in the hop. We're gonna see. Give it a year and a half from now. If shit bombs and goes south, boys, Halo's going to PlayStation. I'm calling it. Like, they're going to really embrace the play anywhere and just kind of mail it in. I'm feeling it, boys. I'm telling you.
Do you know what the problem with that is? It better not be Infinite that goes anywhere. Better be either a new game or you better be releasing your older games over there.
I mean, update Master Chief Collection again.
Yeah, true. Update Master Chief Collection. That's going to be the day, man, when Halo goes PlayStation. At this point, I'm all in on it, man. I think it's going to happen. It's a matter of time. But Halo, like the big dogs, Halo is gonna be on a PlayStation someday. I'm feeling it, man. I see with unless everything works out perfectly and they fix everything. Let's say we, get this long rumored Halo BR by Certain Affinity and it's great, whatever. Like we'll see if that's
what
a
the
thing.
problem
We're
with
good,
that is at
then
this point?
maybe it won't go anywhere. But
The problem with this Halo BR at this point is, at this point in time, people don't give a shit about BRs anymore.
Yeah.
the
BRs were popular like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, they still have their crowd, but I mean, it's not nearly a good a market as it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, right now your market is once again back to Fortnite, and the players that play Fortnite is mostly just because they just release like cool skins to collect all the time.
Continuously.
Yeah, like the other ones, like we're at a point now where it's like there's still a large amount of people, obviously, that play Warzone, but like the conversation around Warzone or Warzone 2.0 or whatever is not nearly as strong as what it was, and people are more excited just for the next Call of Duty, especially since it's going back to Black Ops. Like they're more excited about that than Warzone.
I don't know if that's necessarily true because the people that are playing Warzone are the people that were the ones that were making all the noise when 2.0 came out because they didn't like the changes. And now changes and stuff have been made, and they're just happily over there in their own little world playing their game. They're kind of like Apex players at this point.
That's fair.
Or PUBG.
Where it's
Also
like
fair.
where it's like those groups, it's like they found their preferred game and they just kind of hang out.
Yeah, pretty much.
They don't dip their toes out until a new big game comes out.
Yep.
Which, granted, this Halo BR, if it comes out, people from all these other games, they'll jump into it. They'll give it a shot.
Yep.
But if it's not good, they're going to move on.
Yeah.
Or if it's not as good as what they're coming from, they're going to move on.
Right. That's true. If this Halo BR exists, hopefully it's actually worth shit.
If not, we'll get the Falcon Team's version in Forge.
I know. Theirs is actually really good, apparently. So it works. The last two pieces of info I wanted to throw in with all this, because I thought it was hilarious, is someone nuked Phil Spencer's camp in Fallout 76.
Thing it was is people were suspecting his protest. He actually apparently, because I think it was Kotaku guy hold with the guy, and he was just like, no, it wasn't because of this. I had this plan for weeks.
Yeah, he said that he viewed Phil Spencer as the final boss.
Yeah, he was just like, I just want Phil Spencer to fight me.
Yeah, and
It was more of just the most convenient timing of all time for this guy.
Yes. And then the follow-up to that is on Phil Spencer's Xbox account, which is P3, so people like to check on it all the time. He just got the achievement in Fallout 76 where it's like the mission that unlocks the ability for you to nuke. So Phil Spencer's planning his retaliation, which I think is hilarious.
The guy got his wish, I guess. He finally gets to fight Phil Spencer.
I think that's hysterical. That's the best thing to come out of this week is that we have this Fallout 76 beef. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, you guys got anything else you want to add on with the Xbox conversation? If not, I'll shout out one of our sponsors.
No, I got nothing.
All right. Let's do Rogue Energy. Use the referral link down below. Promo code SPARK3 to get 10% off your order. And you can pick up like the hydration line with Dragon Fruit Mango. The brand new chill line with Strawberry Hibiscus help you relax after a long, stressful day. I know we all have those every once in a while or more often than others. And then, of course, just the standard energy line, whatever. It's the powder formula with like Rocket Pop, Strawberry Kiwi, Great Popsicle, and more, all fantastic. Or we could do the cans with like black cherry lemonade. Ooh, can you get me one? I want a water, please. Thank you. Shout out to Zach. But yeah, black cherry lemonade, fantastic can flavor. Definitely recommend that. We'll check out some
Currently
Rogue
free shipping weekend for Mother's Day weekend.
Hey, shout out promo code SPARKY3, 10% off referral link. And again, I always say this: if you can get a better code, that's fine. Just use the referral link, and you're still supporting the brand. That's all we ask for. I don't care if you use a different code, but you just use the referral link. We'd appreciate that. I miss games that the game devs did play as well. I feel that. Shout out to Polar Knots over on Kick.
I was about to say it's been a long time since we've really had any real like older achievements where you get stuff like the virus achievements where people got for playing with a developer, and then it just carried over as other people played with them.
Yep.
Yeah, I will say, kind of speaking of that, I feel like these days it's almost fairly obvious the games that the developers are real passionate about and play themselves and are real excited for. Mm. Because usually they're the few games that come out during the year that get all the praise. Everybody latch on to.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Because they're the ones where it's like, yeah, somebody made this and they knew exactly. It's like they made it for someone to play.
Yep.
No, they didn't make it to sell a game.
Like Omega Strikers. Like there were several times I think I ran into a developer at least once during the early access stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, and that game was so polished when it came out, even just in early access.
Yeah, it was. God, I was bad at that game. It was fun though, but God, I was bad at that game. Anyway, all right. What topic do you guys want to go to next? The Sony
Before
stuff
we get
or
to that,
Nintendo?
I'm curious, Alex. Did you get a Marvel Rivals code?
No. Did you?
I don't know. We'll find out. I just signed up yesterday.
Okay, I thought you were asking that question because you got one. I was about to be really mad. No, I have not. I did sign up for it, but I have not. I don't know. I might have. I have to go look. I did see where there was like a leak of like where there was like 39 characters, whatever, even though there's only been like 20 something revealed so far.
Yeah.
I saw some video footage as well of just like how certain, champions are going to work and move and operate and stuff.
I just watched a live stream last night.
Yeah. I'm very excited for that game. I am very excited for that game. That's going to be a very fun game to play. I hope I can get in though.
John, you'll dip your toes in it and then hate
I'm
it.
not excited at all.
You'll play it though. You'll play it though.
I don't know.
You'll try it.
I'm kind of moving into the stage where I'm like, I'm okay with not trying some of these games I know aren't going to be long-term games for me.
You've reached that stage of your life, huh?
I'm just tired of downloading games, playing them for 15 minutes, and then going, yeah, it's what I thought it was, and uninstalling it.
Or, you just download Redfall and almost beat the game. Not even 15 minutes. You almost beat the game.
Someone had to talk about it.
He chose to take the bullet.
You did jump on that grenade for us.
I said I would do it, and
Yeah.
I did.
I'm proud of you. You stuck through it. The fact that you made it through like 80% of the game is very impressive.
Still,
It's part of the- it's part of
still
the-
the best thing that came out of the game. The controllers.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does have the controller.
It's,
That's
the,
really
it's
sick.
the main controller I use.
Yeah, those are pretty sick controllers. Speaking of controllers, did you guys see the fire controller?
Yeah, the one oh, did you
The what?
did you also see the backlash on that?
I did.
So I probably have a picture of it.
It said "Feel the burn."
Yeah,
That's
it
what
was basically right after.
Horrible timing.
Zach, this is
Horrible timing.
hours after they announced that they were shutting.
man.
Hours after they announced the studios were shutting down, they released the controller that said That's tagline was "Feel the burn."
Yep.
But yeah, the controller itself.
God dang, Microsoft.
It's those vapor controllers. It's just a fiery one.
I gotcha. Okay.
I've really loved the vapor
Yeah,
controllers, but they haven't had one that was for me yet. Like, because they have like a pink one,
Okay.
and like a navy one, whatever. That one's for me. That's the
See,
one that I want.
See, that one isn't necessarily for me. I've almost bought the pink one about 6 times in the last week. Because
Christina's got it. She really likes it.
it's the one that I feel like in that design looks the best.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably going to buy that one.
I really want this one. Unfortunate for the tagline though. Feel the burn.
Yeah, because I had seen it. I had seen a picture of it, and I was like, "Oh, that one looks kind of neat." And then I get a message from him that just says "need."
Dude, that's my vibe, dude. Orange is my favorite color.
I mean, you know how you could get it with your Affirm card.
Stop. I pretend that card doesn't exist.
I got mine in mail
Why every week?
because this week I got mine in the mail. In the words of Bruno Mars, I got a pocket full of money, and I'm a dangerous man. And actually, I did that wrong. I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket.
You were a dangerous man with money in your pocket before you got the card. Now it's just amplified. Jesus Christ.
I'm pushing for that Affirm sponsorship. I don't think it'll ever become a thing, but hey.
I do love some Affirm.
I will say, I probably, like, just speaking on the controllers themselves, I'm probably going to buy at least one of these vapor controllers.
The pink one does look really sick.
Probably 2.
I'll be honest, I have no idea what these controllers are.
The vapor ones, the vaporwave ones. Yeah, they're really sick. Like I said, Christina's got the pink one, and it's cool. So I don't blame you if you want to pick it up. That one's pretty sick. I almost bought like the navy one. I almost pulled the trigger on that around like Black Friday and stuff. But ultimately, what always pulls me out of buying one of these Xbox controllers, it's like, nah. I want to customize my own. I'm gonna do that someday. I'm not gonna buy this.
You do that later. You buy these because they're cool.
Well, see, I know
Because they're pre-built.
I know, but I've just continued to motivate
like a PC,
myself.
Alex.
I know. I've kept the mindset of no, I'm gonna customize my own in Design Lab. But this is the one that's got me. I want this fire one. This fire one is so cool. Orange is my favorite color, so this is what I want.
You're in luck because they do occasionally, like with the Redfall ones, they release controllers, limited editions that you can only get through Design Lab, and you can still customize all of the other aspects of the controller.
That's also true.
Because that's what I did with my Redfall one.
Meanwhile, the only special one I have is the Starfield one, and honestly, that controller kind of eats ass.
It looks nice.
It does look nice.
I think it kind of sucks.
I mean, for what it's matching and everything, it looks nice.
Yeah. For what it's going for, it's fine. It looks good.
It's not the flashiest, but it's probably one of the cleaner designs.
It encompasses the vibe it was supposed to.
Yeah, because like literally the vibe that it's going for is exactly why I bought it, so I could look at the controller if I forgot what a button did.
I mean, it's not the coolest controller, but it's still a nice controller. I mean, of the actual like truly like special edition controllers, because like the Vaporwaves and stuff, they're cool. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, they're a regular controller with a cool design pattern on it.
Yeah.
Whereas the Starfield controller is at least a more limited edition controller.
Right.
And for that aspect, it's probably
your
one
actual
of the
fire controller.
What the hell is that?
It's Rengoku.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to like actually put some shelves up for my controllers. I'm running out of space.
You've got to that point of your controller collecting.
Seeing as we've diverged, you know what frame a game is?
Yeah.
I've looking at getting a frame a game for my Persona set.
You know, I don't blame you, man, because I've looked at frame a game a few times. For some different games. I think it'd be pretty sweet. Frame a game is pretty cool. I like that idea behind it.
I reached out for a frame to hold all 5 of my games. It's going to cost me $270.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad. No.
Yeah, that's not bad. And then, especially when you're doing all 5. I mean, shout out to that. That's pretty all right.
Did I show you that one, Zach?
Oh yeah, he sent me that too.
It's the Forza controller.
Oh, okay. I have actually seen that one.
I really want the Cyberpunk one though.
Dude, it looks sick.
The Cyberpunk one is awesome. I like the Cyberpunk one a lot.
That's the first one I bought.
Yeah, Cyberpunk one is that one's really cool. I want that one at some point. I still want, dude, it'll never happen. It's so freaking expensive. I still want the Xbox Series Elite Halo Master Chief controller. I want that bad.
I looked it up recently.
What's the current
I
price?
have no idea what that is.
It's like $450.
Oh, yeah, it's never happened. And don't say a firm card stack. I'm not doing it.
I was looking it up recently because I missed out on buying it by one day.
Yep. I feel you because like I missed out on the controller and I missed out on the Halo Infinite Xbox as well. Like I had it in my cart before I ever bought my current Xbox, and I could have bought it years ago and I didn't do it.
The Master Chief controller is one of the biggest regrets for like not pulling the trigger because I had it in my cart and I was like, I'm gonna sleep on it.
Yeah.
I woke up the next day and they were not available anymore.
Oof.
I feel you on that because like when it came to that controller, it felt like a personal mission for me and my Xbox career to get that damn controller because I've told you guys this, I'm pretty sure, and I may have mentioned on the show before, but the Xbox 360, the Master Chief Special Edition one, the green one, whatever, that was actually my first Xbox. My grandmother got it for me for Christmas. We literally get home, turn it on, immediate red ring.
Oh, yeah, you've told me that before.
Yeah, I literally didn't even get to play it. So then we had to turn around, go back to Walmart, and then I got the Black Elite, which is still fine. It's a lot of storage and space at the time, cool, whatever, but like, devastated that I wasn't able to have the Master Chief one, and that console came with that design of that Elite. It came from that special edition, so it haunts me. It haunts me every day. I want that Elite so bad.
So you're wanting that?
Okay, so they do have it in the
Design Lab.
All right, there you go. I can put it. There you go. Like what you just said. You just said that.
Did I show you my other controller that I got?
No.
The 20th anniversary Xbox controller?
No, you didn't. What the hell did you get?
Yeah, it's the 20th anniversary Xbox controller.
No, I didn't know you got that.
Yeah, I bought that too.
God damn it, John. How many controllers do you have?
A lot now.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. But yeah, he plays with the Redfall one the most.
Hey, he committed to collecting controllers.
He made the jump.
This is why I was hesitant to do it.
Yeah, no, and if I spent the time and I tried to dial it back, I'm not gonna do that. It's gonna take forever. I could probably find the exact podcast episode where you were just like, I think I'm gonna make the jump. It's like because
I talked about it for a month.
Yeah, we have it on record in some form or episode where he's just like, I think I'm about to make the jump. I think I'm about to start controller collecting. It's like I think I'm about to do it, and I'm just like, that's It's a dangerous hobby, my friend. It's a very dangerous hobby, but I commend you. Maybe I'll make that jump someday too. We'll see. All right, boys. Do we want to go to some Nintendo stuff or some Sony stuff? Where do we want to go? Where do we want to steer this ship?
Oh,
Design lab.
Let's just get Sony out the way.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get Sony out of the way. I mean, honestly, both of these will probably be pretty quick conversations.
Yeah,
Anyway, so
but
it's fine.
We can have more fun at the end.
Yeah, that's true.
That's fair.
All right. So, yeah, the Sony situation, of course, we documented everything last week where it's like Helldivers 2 Shitshow where it was going to require everyone to sign up to the PSN, which, like John and I, when we talked about it, it's like it's been there the whole time kind of thing, whatever. But it's like, why didn't you mandate it immediately? Yeah, it's just back and forth. It's going to be delisted from countries. So, like, throughout this week, they then pulled back on that mandate where it's like you don't have to have the PSN, right? And
Yeah,
it
there was a
seemed
big celebration. It was like, we won.
yeah, we did it. Democracy wins. Let's go, baby. And then nothing changed, and Helldivers is still banned from 177 countries.
Well,
And now Ghost of Tsushima is being banned from countries for the same reason.
yeah, the craziest part about all this is the fact that the community manager for Helldivers 2 went on a campaign to get people to. They're like, you fought back against Sony. They changed their mind. They're not following through with it. Let's go back and change all of our reviews that you changed to make your point. Let's go change those back to positive. So a whole bunch of people did. A whole
Yeah.
bunch of people went back. They changed their review back to positive. They're like, we did it. We won.
There was
literally-
even a cape made for commemorating the negative drop.
Yeah, and there was
yet
like it was literally an in-game mission. Like you logged in, it's like you click a button, it's like change your Steam review. It was an in-game mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it's celebrated like, oh yeah, you guys won, and this big positive message put around it. Yeah, the game's still banned for 177 or what odd countries
Yeah.
that don't have it. And if people had bought the game previously from there, it's been delisted. It's like they're kind of. It's like, yeah, the game might still be in their account. I don't know how that works necessarily, but it's not on Steam. They can't do anything about it
Yeah.
now. Nobody else from those countries can do anything about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it just gets ripped out of their catalog because it's kind of slightly the same vibe of where very, very random comparison, but this is just what happened to me, and that's why I'm just kind of comparing it. It's somewhat similar to when Minecraft went away from their own launcher, which I know they do have it, like with, from Mojang's site and stuff, and it all links to Xbox. You can still download a Minecraft launcher. Let me make that clear. I'm aware of this, but it's like going through Xbox. Like I can't add Minecraft to Steam anymore because I'm the weirdo that had Minecraft Java linked to Steam so I could easily customize controller settings because, as I've said on the show, I'm a bitch and I can't play with keyboard and mouse on anything. So it's like Minecraft got ripped out of my Steam library and I cannot re-add it anymore because it has to go through Xbox. So it's almost kind of like, I'm pretty sure like with Ghost of Tsushima or Helldivers, it just gets ripped out of their library. It's done. It's almost like, these games that will get delisted, like racing games, like music IP. It's the same thing. They get ripped out of your library. It's done. It's not in there anymore. Like it's not even like it's uninstalled and it's still showing there. Like it's just gone. It's not there.
Yeah, it's essentially just. It's weird to see this moment being celebrated by so many people when, at the end of the day, nothing got resolved.
I was about to say, we got a set of documents saying, hey, we're backing off, you don't, but we've seen actually no changes.
Yeah. All they did was they went, hey, instead of sending this update through with this section of it, we're not going to include that section of it. So you won't have to actually do that. We're not fixing anything else. We're not doing anything else. Or they haven't said that necessarily, but they haven't done anything to show that they're making moves towards it.
Yeah.
And it's likely not going to happen.
And which that's a thing about, like, whenever we initially saw all the people, like, switching their reviews and everything like that, there was several people I saw through Twitter that were just like, I mean, all we got was a message. I mean, all these other countries are still delisted, and other people were just like, I'll rechange my review when something actually changes.
I also saw where it's like when being asked about it and stuff like that, Steam support did clarify that it was the publisher decision
Yes.
to pull it from the country. So this is not on Steam. This is on
This
on
is not on
Sony.
Steam. This is not on Arrowhead. This is Sony.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, as we've seen in the past, when disputes come up between like developers or like if there's ever any question in it, Steam just goes, "We're not fucking touching it. We're not doing a damn
I was
thing."
like, we're just a marketplace. You deal with your shit.
Yeah.
And I've seen like some clips floating around and stuff too of people talking about it. It's like yeah, I've put games on Steam too. If they wanted to change that, that's a quick message you send or a checkbox that you click and it's done and it gets added back. They're just not doing it, and they're hoping people just stay happy with the change.
Which it's a wondrous thing of just the people are just like, oh no, PSN, we're good now. Versus everyone's like, well, we still don't have PSN nor the game.
Yeah.
That's the thing of like when we were
So it's a very interesting thing because like the other aspect of this is like we had this whole big rally of downvoting Helldivers 2, which also in turn with Tango Studios getting shut down, Hi-Fi Rush got that same trend of just everyone went to start review bombing it. And it's just like it's a protest thing, but at the same time, did it actually succeed us in the first way it happened? Because yes, Sony saying we don't have to log into PSN on Helldivers 2 now is a slight win, but it's still been lost to everyone who just doesn't have PSN in general.
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of look at it and I'm like, because one thing I said, or one thing I don't know if I said it very well when we talked about it last week, is the fact that everybody's up in arms about this because they don't want to make the PSN account. And then the delisting from all the countries happens, and everybody goes in and they start putting that in as part of their excuse of like, this is horrible, this is horrible. And then as soon as the information comes out where it's like, oh, I don't have to make a PSN account. Okay, well, I'm perfectly fine now. I'm gonna go back to supporting it and everything. And it's like, weren't you complaining about these countries that are still delisted? It's like you're still like that hasn't changed. All that's changed is what is directly impacting you,
Exactly.
and you're happy now.
Yeah.
And it's like at the end of the day, it's like most of these people, all they cared about is they didn't want to make the account.
Yeah.
Which is kind of
Shitty.
sad that the main, what should be the main point of all of this is being swept under the rug in a sense.
What's going to be the fix for this sort of stuff? Because like I said, we're seeing the same thing now with Ghost of Tsushima. Like, because like I've been sitting here these past couple minutes, and I'm trying to go through the process in my brain here of like having a Microsoft account or a PSN account linked with these Steam games. Like, besides just tracking like progress and like trophies and achievements and stuff like, and I obviously tracking data and stuff like, what's the point of that being a step? Because it's like, I have no doubt in my mind there can still be I don't think it has anything to do with like any sort of profits or anything like that. Like they're still going to get their profit, right? Like, just being on the marketplace. Like what is the fix for this sort of stuff? Because it's like, it feels like this all became up in arms just now, even though it's been fine on the Microsoft side for years. Because it's been like this for years.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the fix? Is it removing it from completely, or is it always mandating it from the get-go, or is it just like like I've been pitching forever now, they just make their own launcher? Because when it comes to the PC stuff, if you look at the publisher, it's listed as PlayStation PC, LLC. Like, I'm telling you, I think they're just going to have their own launcher eventually. What's the fix?
I mean, in terms for Sony, I mean, at this point, based on how they're going about their whole IPs currently by delisting anywhere without PSN access, would be in fact them having their own launcher. Because the other aspect of Microsoft, because Microsoft's done it, had no issues because they have mandated it from game release whenever it reached PC, so it never became a issue of people losing access and things like that. Because that's the main core thing of this, is just that people who have been playing the game have now lost access to the game, in which we've also had the discussion before that digital games only will eventually be lost, but that's a lifetime thing of just once that generation has passed. This is more of a issue of current generation, current happening, and just being gone.
Yeah.
Which on my face, you should have an issue with your digital games being lost anytime, regardless of when it happens to me personally. But the big thing is just when it is a current game and readily played game, one that people have logged hundreds to maybe thousands of hours if they went hardcore into it.
I still like. I'm in my thought process. I'm still of the opinion, and until I see a direct article or direct statement from someone at Sony or PlayStation, I'm gonna believe that they just didn't have, like I said last week, they didn't have this set up with Steam beforehand,
Oh, that's quite possible. Yeah.
and they were just hoping that nobody would care. And I think going forward, they're just gonna keep doing it. They're just gonna keep putting it in there, and they're every time it's eventually they're gonna, like, for their next game that comes out on Steam, like after Ghost of Tsushima, and that it's going to be mandated where if you buy the game, it's gonna bring you, like, you click play and it's gonna take you to a home, like the launch screen, and then it's gonna redirect you to PlayStation website and say sign in or make an account. And if you click out of it, the game's gonna close. And they're going to force you to do it. And if that's the case, people are going to they're either going to refund the game and they're going to complain, or they're just going to do it. And I think that's what Sony's going to try to do until they eventually put enough games out to decide maybe we should have our own launcher and then maybe pull their stuff from Steam.
I mean, the only issue I see with that is just which could lead to people boycotting Sony games on PC, is just the fact that this Helldivers is one issue just because it's a new recent game of this year. But now they have Ghost of Tsushima, which has been on PC how long?
Just like maybe a couple months, I thought.
So it's only a couple months as well?
I think so. I think it was one of the most. Let me look.
So my only thing is, are they also going to start requiring this for the ones that have been out for a couple years? God of War.
I don't know if they'll do it for...
I can't think of the other ones off the top of my head right now.
Spider-Man.
Horizon.
Last of Us, I think.
So are they going to go back to these ones that have been out and start doing that as well?
I would have, like, assuming they're smart about it, you leave those alone. Like, the way I think about it is the ones that are already there, you leave alone. They're grandfathered into what the current system is.
Yeah.
Anything new that comes out, you click play on it, you're redirected to sign in or make an account. And like the other games are perfectly fine. And then if they ever do come out with their launcher, you sign into that there, and any game that you've bought on Steam that's got a link to that account shows up in the library.
And I agree with you. That would be the smart thing.
That's the way I assume that it should go.
That would be the smart plan. But as it stands right now, I'm thinking that back of just, are they going to backtrack? In which I would hope they wouldn't.
The reason I think they wouldn't is, at least to those games, the only reason Ghost of Tsushima was even being brought up as a potential have to sign into it is for the multiplayer component that is going to be added to it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because the base game and all of the single player stuff, you would be able to do without having to, like, sign in or link an account or anything. It was only going to be if you went to do the multiplayer stuff, you would have to do it.
Gotcha.
Because that was clarified.
Okay.
But yeah, so far it's only been multiplayer stuff that it's come up with. But I would assume in the future they're just going to start trying to sneak it in and force people to do it.
Oh, most definitely. Seeing as got their standard right now. They're showing their standard currently.
Yeah.
Where they're going with it.
He's browsing Steam.
Oh, okay.
So, all right. So Ghost of Tsushima comes out in 5 days.
Oh, so it hasn't even come out
It's
yet.
pre-purchase.
So it's being delisted ahead of time, which
yes.
is a bit smarter, but it sort of sucks for anyone who pre-purchased it.
And going through all of the titles that I know of, the only one that has where you have to sign in the PSN account is Helldivers. I've gone to Spider-Man because, I mean, they're all single-player games.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Well, yeah, that's because that was clarified by the developer for
So
Ghost of Tsushima when he
multiplayer.
he clarified
Okay.
it was only because of the multiplayer element.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay. So as it stands, it would look like single-player games would be safe, but anything multiplayer would mean PSN account or nothing.
Right.
Which, even if they go to their own launcher, that's not going to help anything.
I mean, it's not,
Because you'll still have to have a PSN account.
but it would be more streamlined. And people would know what they're getting into
it'd
more,
be a little bit
obviously.
more controlled is a good way to put
it's
it.
more controlled. It's
Since
less
people
confusing.
don't read requirements.
It'd be less confusing there because you assume Steam can buy whatever game is on there and not have to worry about it.
Right.
Correct.
No, I don't know what the solution's going to be, man. Like I said, I do think, though, we're just going to see a point where the PC launcher's coming for it, but sucks for the Helldivers thing. Hopefully they get it fixed because they said that, oh, we're not going to force you to do this. So it's like, I don't see the reason why it's delisted. Like, if it's not required, why is it delisted? Are you just trying to put a middle finger up now? Like, I don't know. Hopefully they fix it.
No, it's because you know what it is. They've stopped for now. They're going to try to do it again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're going to try to sneak it in again in a couple months when people calm down.
Yeah, which is going to probably raise another uproar unless people have moved
That's
on.
what you would think, but they may if they sneak it in because people have become like, oh, we won. Hey.
Yeah.
And
Because what'll end up happening is they'll talk to Arrowhead or something, and they'll be like, hey, create some cool cosmetics that you can only get by linking your PlayStation account.
Yeah, they'll probably.
That's how you get people to do it.
Like
that's exactly how you do it.
That's why people are okay with doing Microsoft stuff. Is you get extra stuff for connecting your account a lot of times.
Shitty business practices, man. It's across the whole industry. It's shitty business practices. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it, man.
It's what we got to deal with.
Unfortunately. All right, let me shout out our other sponsor. Agent Inc. You can use our referral link down below. Pick up one of our 2 hats or one of our jerseys, like the Sparky 3, the AniMan Plus Gamesthetic, or ATFS jersey. And we would appreciate that extra support. They're a great place to pick up some merch, so definitely do that. You can also pick up some merch from Sparky3shop.com, and we'd appreciate that support too. Still need to add a couple more things to the shop. Gotta get around doing that. All right, let's hit our last main topic, and we'll start going to the weekly wrap-up. So we do have some Switch 2 news.
I was going to say, when in doubt, and we don't have that much to talk about. Switch 2 news.
I mean, we could always bring back Blue Box.
You want to talk about Blue Box?
I mean, at this point, we've talked about Switch 2 rumors more than you guys ever talked about Blue Box.
I mean, that's fair.
I will never forget. I don't know which one of you said it, where it's just like the gaming experience of abandoned is being abandoned.
Oh, that was me.
I thought
that was very much
you.
me.
That's amazing. Shout out to Abandoned for anyone who forgot that was a thing. Shout out to Blue Box Game Studios. What a shit show, dude.
May you never rest in peace.
I know. But no, John is right. We're going to old trusty Switch 2 news. So just on a casual Tuesday at 3 a.m. our time, Nintendo decided to drop some news, which, it's daytime for them, so it's fine. The fiscal report. Switch passed 141 million units. Shout out to that. Software sales are good. They released some updated numbers for, like the top 10 games, as well as like some other titles that's come out. So like Mario RPG crossed 3 mil. Shout out to that. Happy about that one. I expect Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door Remake this month to probably cross about the same thing, about 3 mil. Shockingly, Princess Peach crossed the mil. That game's garbage, but all right, kudos. There was a couple other things that crossed the mil here recently too, but I was happy to see Mario RPG. But anyway, they did say that they will be announcing information on the next Nintendo Switch in phases. The next, I guess more so the full reveal will be coming this fall. Did clarify there will be no release in this fiscal year, so it will not come out before April. April would be the absolute earliest. I think, no, would it be April or May? When does their fiscal year end? When does gaming?
I mean, it's a month apart.
Yeah, it is. It's April or May.
It's the same time period.
Yeah, same time range. They will continue to release physical games though, so that's cool.
This is the thing is, it's like, why did you feel the need to out of the blue just be like, hey, by the way, our direct that's coming up, it's not gonna be about the Switch 2.
Yeah.
It's like,
because it's Nintendo.
Yeah.
but still,
Because they're just like, we want to focus on what we have for our next direct. So let's just make sure no one has a high expectations for Switch 2 by just telling them there's nothing to do with Switch 2.
yeah, but every time they've done a direct for like the last 2 years, everybody's got the fun of making a video going, are they gonna announce the Switch 2 now?
Well, now they can't.
But it's like, we're still making a video on it.
I mean, Or this is
No, we're not.
or this is all just a Switch and bait, and they're just like, there's no Switch 2. But surprise, there's a Switch 2.
No, it's gonna be. Hey, we're not gonna show you the Switch 2 at this, but here's the new Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
That's what I've been. That's what I've been saying for years
Yep.
at this point.
Yep.
But no, they're not gonna say anything about it this one because they're gonna show us what it is at the end of the year, like I said they were.
Yes. Yes.
They're just going to give us Labo too.
Probably. I mean, based on some of the manufacturer leaks, looks like we can get a lot of different stuff, like how apparently the console and the Joy-Cons may have a built-in mic. I'm feeling a return to Nintendogs, boys. I'm feeling a return to Nintendogs.
I've said it plenty. I've said it with every new controller that comes out, with like the PS5 controller and all that. I don't need these damn speakers or microphones in the damn controller that are used
To scare the shit out of
that
me.
are used in 1 in every 100 games, where you start playing it and then sounds just randomly. There is one good use of it, and it was
Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima with the wind and the sound effects and everything.
Yes.
That's the one good.
It's the only game that's used it to its full capability.
Actually, I would argue another game with how the approach was, and it is Xenoverse 2, because anytime you're going and you're into the past, shut up, John. Anytime you go into the past and
Xenoverse 2 breaking boundaries on the PS5.
yes. Anytime you go to the past to fix a time paradox,
Is it on PS5?
Yes,
It's on everything.
yeah, it's on everything.
Why did it take the Skyrim and GTA path?
We'll never get
Hey,
Xenoverse
Zach,
3.
it's still releasing DLC.
I know.
Yes, it is.
and
but-
people are still buying it. That's why.
God
Yes.
dang it.
But like whenever like the Supreme Kai of Time like talks to you or whatever, it's coming through the controller as if it's like through a headset, whatever. So that's actually pretty cool. Just the communication aspect of it. So that's another example where it's pretty cool. But Ghost of Tsushima is still the best.
But yeah.
That one's still the best.
But yeah, it's like I don't need these speakers. I don't need these microphones. I don't need none of this.
But you gotta be able to play Nintendogs.
Alex.
Even the children aren't gonna play Nintendo.
I'm gonna play Nintendogs.
You're gonna buy it, put it in for 30 seconds, and go, where did I go wrong?
You're going to be one of the 100 people who will buy that.
That's gonna be a 1 million copy seller easy. 2 million. I'd even argue 5 million.
I would go and buy me a Tomodachi again before I would play Nintendogs.
I will bet you that it will cross at least 2 mil in the first year. 2 mil first year if they make a new Nintendogs. I'm feeling it. Telling you right now. But either way,
He's putting Nintendogs up there against like Super Mario RPG.
You didn't see his TikTok where he made Nintendogs a 1010.
10 Nintendogs is a 10-10. What are you talking about? Also, shout out to that dead series. I fell off that one bad. My bad. But anyway, so some other stuff in terms of like leaks from manufacturing and handheld mode. In terms of its power, it's going to be right above the PS4.
Are people supposed to take us seriously when we say 7 out of 10 game is fine if you're putting Nintendogs at 10-10?
Nintendogs is a 10 out of 10
It's
game.
a good thing it's a dead series. It'll be buried in a year.
That's true. Especially once we start getting some more stuff on there. Like, no one will ever know. No one will ever scroll
I don't
that far
know.
now.
In this episode, we'll know.
No one will scroll that far now. It's fine. What, John?
He's going to have our score list, and just at the top, he's going to just have Nintendogs at 10.
We're going to have our own little boards that show our rating systems. And for his, it's like we're just going to have to say, just take it with a grain of salt or something.
Wow.
His 10 is going to be Mass Effect, Nintendogs.
I got some other stuff in there that's a 10 out of 10. Come on now. I gave Sneak King a 10 out of 10. Remember that?
You did, didn't you?
I did.
Okay, John, we're going to need to give him a separate board.
Yeah, he needs his own board.
But I clarified that it was actually like a 3 out of 10.
You can have Brady's drawing board for yours.
Tyler's drawing board.
Or is it Tyler's? My
Yeah, it's
bad.
Tyler's drawing board. Yeah, I'll take down one of my jerseys and I'll hang it up behind me. I'll get a board for all of us.
I was just laughing at that. It's like, yeah, we didn't watch their show.
That was a good episode, boys. Let me tell you.
I told him, I was like, because he said something about your draft episode. I went, yeah. I was like, it's like like playing a game or watching a show or something, and I went to go to bed, and I clicked over, and I went, "Man, they really are still going, huh?"
We were making it through the whole first round, baby. Every year. Shout out to ATFS. But anyway, so yeah, in terms of power, handheld will be right above PS4 before DLSS kicks into play, and docked is going to be kind of between PS4 and Xbox Series S before DLS as well as more modern hardware. So whenever they say it's like going to be, between PS4 and Xbox Series, just it is still modern hardware, current hardware, whatever. It will be having 4K though, so don't worry about that for anyone curious about it. But 12 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage, built-in magnetic Joy-Cons, codename Muji. So, cool. I mean, we finally got some sort of acknowledgement official acknowledgement from Nintendo. Now it's just waiting for that actual reveal, and then just kind of, since it's going to be confirmed to be 100% backwards compatible, that's kind of confirmed and everything. I think that is actually legitimately confirmed, not even just like manufacturer based. I think Nintendo actually did confirm you will be able to play current Switch games and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's like the 3DS and the new 3DS.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I imagine.
I'm hammering this new Nintendo Switch thing home.
You are. I thought you said DS to 3DS. Then it took me. And when he started laughing, I'm like, wait, he said 3DS to new 3DS, not DS.
Well, that's
to
what
3DS.
they did, because the new 3DS could play 3DS games, but
the new 3DS.
But then you had to buy the
3DS.
New 3DS.
It was the most confusing thing trying to buy a game for it.
Yeah.
So with this being the approach, like honestly, I'll be real with you boys. I think the Switch 2, whatever it's going to be called, the new Nintendo Switch, like I think it legitimately has the potential to have one of the strongest opening like launches and lineups in like gaming history, because like you're going to have some new games come out for it. Like I'm going to bet money Mario will launch with it, a new Mario game.
I mean, it needs it.
I think Prime 4 is in that window to be a launch title as well. It's not going to be a mover like Mario, but honestly, you get like some of these new titles coming out, it's already based on all reports and every, acknowledgement in the world. All these third parties are on it from the jump. You know what I mean? They're not going to come later. So like imagine a launch that's going to have a new Mario, maybe Prime Force, maybe some other smaller Nintendo titles and stuff, maybe some solid, Square games, Capcom, Sega, whatever launching, but then also you launching like
Metal Gear Collection
that's not ass on it. Launching like upgrades, like patches for stuff like Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, Age of Calamity, where it's actually fucking playable. Stuff like that, and just like your backlog that people love and still play, enhanced versions of it. Maybe even an enhanced version of Smash, Smash Ultimate, because Sakurai has now stepped away from his YouTube channel to go back into game development, whatever that is. So it's like that, you could legitimately have like one of the strongest opening lineups for a game console ever. Because it's like, I know it's just like, all of us can agree, myself included, even though I'm the one pitching this, I want to play the new shit. All right, I want to play the new Mario, I want to play the Prime 4, but there's going to be hundreds of thousands of gamers, maybe even millions, that's going to be like, oh yeah, let me fucking turn on Tears of the Kingdom right now, or Breath of the Wild, or whatever, you know what I mean, to go see whatever the new, enhancements are, how great it looks, it runs, there's going to be plenty of gamers that's going to go do that as well. So like, it really could be an incredible
Here's
launch.
the thing that you're forgetting about. It's Nintendo.
I know.
It is Nintendo. Also,
I just tried to drink my water.
I watched you go for it. Stop, go for it again.
I'm sorry, Alex. When you were saying people would go see how the Zelda games or whatever look on the new, all I could think of was one of Cyberpunk's first updates, and just the reaction of people went, Pan Am sends lewds? I gotta go back to Cyberpunk.
Facts. All right, let me re-download the game.
But one thing I was gonna say is like you talking about, maybe they'll release a patch for like these old games. No, they're not. You know what they're gonna do? The new Switch is gonna come out, and it's gonna release with it's gonna be like a Wii U to Switch thing where half the games come out on Wii U and Switch, but then at the same time before the launch, you're gonna be able to buy Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, all of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Ultra Edition for the new Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
That's what they're gonna do.
Yep.
Because they're like, people are gonna want to play even if it's backwards compatible. If you offer it on the new system, they don't have to change anything.
They can just buy it again.
They're gonna buy it again.
They don't have to change anything. Nintendo can come out and go, we didn't make any changes. There's no enhancements. We're just releasing the game in case you want to buy it on this console. And people will buy it again.
And this is right, because this has been their strategy and plan for generations now.
Nintendo has conditioned their like consumers to buy their games multiple times.
Again and again and again.
Yep.
Ever since the NES.
They're good. They're good. They're good about it, man. So, I mean, I do think it could have an unbelievable launch lineup, though, especially with the third-party supports. That's pretty exciting.
Decent Mario sports game.
Please, God.
I think as long as it's backwards compatible, it will have the ability to have one of the best libraries of games starting out with. Personally, I think it's going to have a fairly weak opening year.
Really? Okay.
Because you're gonna have your Mario. It's like you might have Prime 4, but Prime 4 I believe is gonna be a transitional game, like with the Wii U and Switch and that. So it's gonna have to be able to run on the Switch, which is gonna hamper it on the new Switch.
That's fair.
To an extent. So I feel like that is gonna be the opening series of games where they have to make them to still work on the Switch. So, and they're not going to be like a Tears of the Kingdom that got 7 years of development to be able to pull every fucking little bit out of the Switch that shouldn't be capable of doing.
Facts.
I still just picture that dev team sitting with the dev version of the Switch out on a table going, how the hell does this work?
Yeah. True. The one thing that I saw a joke about involving that exact topic I thought was hilarious was everyone just immediately like seeing the 12 gigabytes of RAM and just immediately looking at Monolith Soft. It's just like, dude, just imagine what they can do, because they made Xenoblade Chronicles X with 1 gigabyte of RAM on the Wii U. Like, imagine what they're going to be able to do with 12 gigabytes of RAM on the Switch too. Because apparently, per like all the leaks and the manufacturing stuff, it's going to be roughly about 11 gigs usable, only 1 gig for the OS. So it's like 11 gigs usable for a game to kind of push the limits. It's like Monolith Soft is going to be able to really push them limits. 1 gigabyte on the Wii U. That's wild to look back on.
Somehow, we're still going to get a laggy piece of shit Pokemon game.
100%. 100%. Which is so unfortunate.
And this is why my Pokemon game was just a road trip.
God, I hate you. You couldn't even go everywhere.
I could.
No.
On land.
No.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, to be fair, you didn't want to go in the water.
You really don't. It's bad. It's brutal. Any hopes once out of this random direct coming out in June? Anything you'd like to see? I know immediately people are just
Gabe
like...
Newell blessing it with a Steam Deck.
Calm down. I would like to have that happen during one of these shows that we're watching, That'd be great. Because don't they always do that every like major show, like Game Awards and stuff like that, where it's like you can log in and have the chance to win a Steam Deck?
Yeah.
Hopefully that'd be pretty sick. But I saw a lot of people saying it's like this is the last chance to get Twilight Princess Wind Waker. I'm like, that ship sailed. I'm done hoping for that one. That one.
Transitional title. I'm telling you, there's gonna be a lot of transitional titles.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the new Switch comes out 6 months later. All the last ditch games are gonna be launch titles for it, but they're gonna come out on the Switch first.
Yep. I am kind of curious to see what the rest of this year is gonna hold.
I will say at this point with Nintendo, I don't have a fucking clue what they're doing.
I mean, we're beyond the point of needing a new console, so it's just like they really are just fucking flying with it. Like, whatever.
At this point, it's like Nintendo's got a direct come out. I'm like,
who knows?
let's see what you got.
Honestly, like because there's like so little expectations, it actually makes it kind of fun going into it. Because it's like we have no idea what's going on. We know it's like the new console's coming out. We have no rumors or speculation of what is in development or coming out. It really is just like, let's see what's going on. Like, let's have some fun. Who knows what might be in here? Might get a special treat.
You gonna read an article about that one, or just wait for him to put the contents in the script?
Script.
Okay, so now you're going to the article. You're just going to wait for the script. Got it.
Remember, I care the least about Nintendo.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I like Nintendo. I don't care for the most part. I'm like, just give me something fun.
Hey, at least they're the one company right now that's not a complete shit show. Like, kudos to them on that. Kudos to them on
Sega's
that.
doing okay, man.
Well, I mean, like, in terms of, like, console developer, companies.
I mean, Atari is somewhere.
Leave Atari out of this. All right. You guys got anything else you want to add to that?
No.
All right. Let's hit the weekly wrap up and get out of here then. All right. So, first up, EA CEO has said they're looking to put ads in their games.
I'm done with the EA games.
Yeah.
EA really pushing how much they could throw
Yeah.
ads at, quite literally ads at their player base.
I also saw another thing where the same CEO said he was quoted saying there is apparently an active hunger behind game developers to want to add more AI created content in games to speed up the process. And I'm like, I don't think that's true. I don't think I understand wanting to get stuff out quicker, but I don't think it's an active hunger. And I'm not a game developer. I'm not friends with one, but I don't feel like that would be an active thing people want.
I think the only reason that any developer would ever actively say that is if you're trying to get them to do 4 years worth of work in a year and a half.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I could see like some smaller time, like single developer to use it sort of as a crutch to help them if they're like by themselves. But our big AA and AAA games, probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
But
like
again, we're not game developers. We don't know. Maybe there is a small corner of that world that they are actually raving for it. I don't know.
I don't know.
it's like some teams, especially smaller teams, are already actively using like AI elements to them, like
Yeah.
finals.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like finals.
Yeah.
Finals came out and just said, it's like, yeah, we did. It made it easier, and we wanted to put the game out.
So maybe there is a hunger for it. I don't know.
It's like it's one of those where it's like I don't think every developer out there is going to say, yeah, we want to use AI to make to make everything easier. It's like no, because that's gonna if you start pushing that narrative, and you're gonna start getting rid of a lot of developers.
Yeah, which we've already seen over the last 2 years. All right, like that's the problem. That's why people are concerned.
And especially coming from EA.
I know.
Like, the same guy talking about putting an ad in a game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't actively look for EA games right now, but if I find myself playing an EA game and a fucking ad pops up, I'm gonna lose my shit.
I mean,
agree.
don't play Truck Driver Simulator. Then there is live ads in Truck Driver Simulator for truck driving services to try and recruit people who are playing the simulator as to become real life truck drivers.
That makes sense though. That's fine.
Hey, that's on brand, and you're driving a truck. Is it a radio ad?
Billboards.
Billboard? Perfectly fine.
See, that's cool. That's
Perfectly
fine.
fine. That advertising makes sense in context. If I'm playing a goddamn game, an EA game, and I'm doing a mission in some game,
Let's
and
say Dragon Age. Let's say he's playing Dreadwolf.
you pause my game and make me watch a 30-second unskippable ad.
The level of anger that will come out of this man is something like you've never seen before.
We will get a very hot Discord message, which we'll be both very confused about.
Yes.
There
Let's
will-
just say I can't wait for that Gamesthetic episode.
Out of everyone here, I probably have to watch more ads for playing games than you guys combined with the
True.
amount of
Yeah,
shitty
mobile
mobile
games. Yeah,
games
that's
that I
true.
play. But the difference is, I know what I'm getting into.
Oh God, that's great! Can't wait for that Gamesthetic episode one day for John to go on a rampage. All right, next up, Dead Island 2 is apparently thriving as devs confirm the game isn't done and has hit 7 million player mark. So shout out to that.
Man, I wonder if that game was better than I gave it credit for.
There you go. Now you have your answer. I mean, you talked about it in the sense of if you like the loop, you'll enjoy the game. You didn't enjoy the
The
loop.
game, the problem was there was nothing in the first 2 hours to give you any fun.
Yeah, maybe it's just better now. I don't know.
Maybe.
YouTuber Donkey released his first game, Animal Well, and it to universal praise.
See, I've seen that pop up. I didn't know what it was about.
I don't know what it's about. I just know it's a pixel Metroidvania, and everyone loves it. Like, it's getting 10 out of 10s across the board. It's universally acclaimed. So,
Well, good for Donkey.
yeah, good for him. Because I remember 2 years ago when he announced that he was making a game, and I remember like some reporters, like game reporters and stuff, like kind of shitting on him, where it's just like, I don't think he knows what he's getting into, whatever, blah blah blah. And now I've seen those same people now come back and be like, I was wrong. It's like, kudos for you for following back up 2 years later and admitting that you were wrong instead of just ignoring it and pretending it didn't happen. Let's see, where was I? The ROG Ally X was announced. I didn't include stats or anything. Didn't really care to include stats, but it's just
I don't have it open, and I did not understand what you said.
ROG Ally X. Asus ROG.
Oh.
Yeah, Asus ROG Ally X was announced. It's just the next Asus ROG is all it is. Better battery life, better memory. There you go. If you want an Asus ROG, could just wait for the new one. There you go. God of War Ragnarok is apparently the next PC release by Sony. I mean, that just makes sense. That'll be that. And then after that will probably be Spider-Man 2, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Sega's current plan internally is to make Like a Dragon, Persona, and Sonic annual releases with new titles, remasters, remakes, DLC, or other media. So,
Say, how the hell are they gonna make a new Like a Dragon every year?
They're not.
They won't. They can't. Not with the way they make that damn game.
well, DLC or other media. I mean, they're counting shows and stuff as in that category. That's their version of it. So if something comes out every year, they're gonna count it and chalk it up. To my understanding,
As long as it's got that brand name on it, it can be a kabuki play for all they care. It counts.
Yeah, it's gonna count in their brain.
We're gonna get a new Dead Souls. That's a.
You know, I'm actually hunting down Dead Souls. Dead Souls was absolutely awful.
I was gonna say,
but I need it for my collection.
You know, I'm throwing a fairly deep cut in there when it takes him a minute to get it.
Do you have any clue what that is?
I've heard it, but that's about as far as I've got with it.
It's literally the only Yakuza game I'm missing because it only released for PS3. It was an absolutely awful Yakuza game because it came out during the zombie trend. So it's Yakuza Dead Souls, a Yakuza zombie game based in between either after the events of 4 or in between the events of 3 and 4.
But yeah, it's
atrocious.
It's kind of.
I'm
like
surprised you know what that is, John.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's one of those where, hey, annual release, man.
Yeah, could get Dead Souls remaster.
God, that would be awful.
Yeah. Okay, I see it now.
I want you to know, speaking of Sega, this week, for whatever reason, I turned on the Sonic Frontiers soundtrack, like the actual soundtrack, not just the boss music, and just cleaned my house to it.
Great soundtrack.
To the entire soundtrack.
Hey, I don't blame you, man.
Dude, how long did it take?
It was pretty much all day.
Figured he'd go faster.
Dude, that's a long soundtrack.
It is. It's a good soundtrack too. It's good. It's a good OST, man.
Like the cyberspace levels for the Chronos Island, can only assume the music direction just like make me a club mix.
Yes, accurate, dude. Speaking of Sonic Rumble was officially announced.
I saw that
this winter. That's the Fall Guys
Sonic game.
Yep. I mean, it looks fun. Looks like I think it's only like a mobile game. I think may come to PC. I don't know. I mean, looks fun. I mean, I'll definitely try it out. Full reveal of EA College Football 25 is coming this Thursday. The deluxe edition cover was leaked on the PlayStation Store, which then had the official Twitter account said, well, caught us by surprise too. Full reveal coming on Thursday. So it's like, all right, shout out. But yeah, Michigan running back Donovan Edwards is on the cover, as well as Colorado Travis Hunter and Texas Quinn Ewers and Jalen Milroe, and someone else was also Carson Beck was on there too. So shout out to that. There's also a couple of in-game screenshots, just stills, whatever. Graphics look beautiful. I personally cannot wait. I thought this was kind of funny. Sony forms a new studio within PlayStation that is completely made up of all the Deviation game devs, which is that studio that just shut down recently when 2 years ago they announced they were created on Summer Game Fest, announcing that they had a publishing deal with Sony that would back them for years to come. And then 2 years later, they shut down. And now Sony created a studio within PlayStation with these devs.
Hey, Sony's got their back, apparently.
They've got their back.
They committed to it.
It makes me now more curious, why did the studio shut down then? You know what I mean? Like, clearly they do actually have their back.
It's one of the rare instances where it's like, they said they were going to support them, and here we are.
Yeah.
It looks like they actually are.
Just not in the original way that we thought would happen. But whatever, kudos to them, I guess.
They just wanted to get that name off their back.
I know. I know. Then GameStop could apparently get into graded Pokemon card business.
I'm sorry for any GameStop employees.
Man,
Yeah.
they're trying to do whatever they can latch on to.
I know. They're trying so damn hard, man. Oh, good luck to them. And I feel you. I feel bad for those employees. That's gonna be rough. But they really are trying anything and everything to just stay afloat, and any last chances to just keep on rocking. Anyway, you guys have anything other game news you want to throw out there?
Multiverse is still coming out May 28th, and have announced that along with it, the Joker will be joining the roster.
Saw that. Shout out. Forgot to add that. I don't think if there's any other news I missed. You got any news?
Just been playing MLB The Show all week.
Okay.
That's not true. You played Rocket League yesterday.
That sounds right. It sounds like you probably would play some.
Yeah,
Rocket
but I also played MLB The Show yesterday too.
Yeah, but it's not the only thing you play.
But yeah, I mean it's been the majority of what I've played all week. I finally downloaded it, and yeah, it's still MLB The Show.
There you go. All right, let's finish up the show with a new segment that we're going to have at the end of the show. It's never going to be a long one. It could be literally a minute. It could be 5 minutes. That's it.
We can make any topic long.
Correct. This show's at an hour and 46 minutes.
I derailed this entire show earlier to talk about controllers.
I know. Might make that a clip too. We'll see. But anyway, so it will be the Gamestead Game of the Week. We will all go on a rotation each week. One of us will shout out a game. Doesn't matter if it's new, old. We just played it for the first time, played it again. Doesn't matter. Just to quickly kind of talk about it on why you should play it. So who wants to start for the first week?
I just want to point out, I think he's starting this because he realized he stopped doing his TikTok thing, and this is his
I
replacement
thought the
for it.
same thing. I thought the exact same thing, John.
We caught on to him. Look at him.
Your plot's been revealed, sir.
You know what the sad part is, boys? I thought this idea randomly earlier at work, and I'm just like, that'd be a really fun idea. And I stone cold thought to myself, shit, they're going to try to call me out because of the TikTok thing.
The funny thing is, if you never mentioned the TikTok thing, I would never know.
Legitimately, I had nothing to do with it. Really didn't. But my brain did connect the dots of, damn, they're going to call me out on this. like, I'm going to get called out on this. Like, it's going to happen. Anyway, so who wants to kick it off? I don't care. What's a game when someone wants to shout out?
Enslaved Odyssey.
All right, Enslaved Odyssey, Zach.
I will always push this game.
Let's do it.
It's a sleeper hit from the 360 era. Third-person action adventure doing a take in an apocalyptic world of the Journey to the West. You play as a Wukong character, and a lot of climbing, combat, action, boss fights. You get a hoverboard. Overall, solid game. Sleeper hit of the 360 era.
I still want to play that game.
Such a good sleeper.
Like once you told me what it was and we were building up our 50 games, whatever, on episode 50, like I looked into, it's been on like my wish list forever, and it's not even like it's that
Such
much
a
money.
good game.
Like I love Journey to the West content. Love it so damn much. I mean, hence why I'm so damn excited for Black Myth Wukong. But Enslaved Odyssey to the West, that's a game that's
Just
still
Enslaved Odyssey.
Is it? I thought it was Odyssey to the West. Is it just Enslaved Odyssey?
Enslaved Odyssey is the main title.
Okay,
It may
okay.
have a subtext, so I'd have to double check.
Okay. Either way, Enslaved Odyssey. Really want to play that game. That game looks sick. So, all right. And then we'll follow up next week. Me or John will do it. And then we'll just go on a rotation from that point forward. So, shout out to Gamestetic Game of the Week. New segment. We're all about new segments here and trying new things. All right. I'm going to hit the music. Let's get out of here, boys.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. If you have any games to throw out for us to shout out in our segment, throw it in the comments. We'll look into it, maybe.
Yeah, do everything he said and more. And if you made it to the end with us and enjoyed what you saw here, or if you're watching this after the fact and want to come check us out live, We do these live streams every Saturday about 6 p.m. Central Time, so come check us out.
And also make sure you check out our sponsors, Rogue Energy and Agent Inc. You can use the referral link down below for both of them. Use promo code Sparky3 at Rogue Energy to pick up some of that. As well as check out our merch store, Sparky3shop.com. You can also come join the Discord, and we'd appreciate that support there. Until next week, guys, have a good one. Bye.